Feeling entirely stuck and discontent with your own nature is a uniquely modern exhaustion. You look around at the pace of the world and feel a quiet, creeping certainty that you are somehow failing at life. We spend an enormous amount of our waking energy frantically trying to measure up. We check off the boxes for a successful career, try to build the right relationships, and attempt to maintain the proper moral posture according to external rules. But the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche pointed out a mechanical flaw in this behavior. A person who constantly obeys outside commands completely loses the ability to hear their own voice. That pervasive sense of falling behind is not a personal defect. It's the inevitable symptom of trying to follow someone else's script instead of writing your own. We assume the expectations we are failing to live up to are objective facts. But we have to ask what happens if those rigid rules are not actual laws of the universe at all. In reality, what we call truth is highly unstable. It is largely a movable host of human metaphors and anthropomorphisms. This illustrates how language hardens. Over generations, vibrant human expressions lose their original meaning. We accept these dead metaphors as fixed, canonical, and binding laws. The truths we organize our lives around are illusions we have forgotten are illusions. Stripping away that structure removes our safety net. Realizing societal truth is an illusion destroys the foundation of all our excuses, leaving an existential vacuum right where external authority used to be. When that vacuum opens up, the immediate consequence is a total loss of scapegoats. Without a pre-written, objective path to follow, there is absolutely no one else to blame for our circumstances. Freedom is nothing more than the active will to take absolute responsibility for ourselves. People generally misunderstand how to apply this freedom because they confuse the path they are walking with the goal they are trying to reach. We choose a starting point and aim for a goal, but when an obstacle appears, we stubbornly attach to that path. Taking true responsibility means dynamically inventing new ways to route around the failure until you reach the goal. To survive without the comfort of dead metaphors to guide you, you must learn to become your own primary source of experience. This requires radical self-acceptance. You have to actively throw off any lingering discontent about your inherent nature and forgive yourself for your own self. You integrate your past through a mechanical process. You take your false starts, massive errors, and past delusions as raw material. You melt those mistakes down to forge your direction forward. Nothing can be left over. Every past passion, every lost love, and every failure must be aggressively merged into your ultimate goal. Responsibility is an active alchemy. It is the deliberate conversion of your worst mistakes into the exact fuel required for your future. When you treat objective truth as a human construct and weaponize your mistakes, regret becomes logically impossible. Every error is a necessary ingredient for the current state. You have to forgive your own messy nature, because the specific texture of those flaws is exactly what dictates the unique shape of your journey. This framework guarantees the natural order. Profound things are reserved only for those willing to endure profound abysses. Everything rare is kept exclusively for the rare. This presents a final philosophical challenge. You must stand before the self-authored, error-filled life you have lived and examine it without flinching. Can you look at everything you have endured, all the illusions, the false starts, and the pain, and boldly demand, was that life? Well then, once more. The ultimate victory of self-discovery is not finding a hidden universal truth. It is seeing through the illusions well enough that you can finally take absolute responsibility for writing your own story.